Good. Welcome, everybody. I was muted on YouTube and Facebook, so thanks so much for those who let me know. I'm excited to be able to go live today. I've got this topic that's been brewing on my mind for some time, but I want to, hey Prince, hey everyone. Oh my gosh, so excited to be able to go live. It is an honor to be able to talk to you about this topic because I've been thinking about this for some time. And I definitely want to go ahead and talk about a few things as it relates to manifestation and manifesting your desires, as well as this topic. Hi, as well as this topic that I've got here that you can see. A man is a plan. A man is a plan. And of course, that comes from this viral video that I've seen. I'm sure you've seen it. It was a few weeks ago, I believe. And a lady was saying something about man not being a plan, blah, blah, blah. I disagree with her. She said a man was a companion and some other things, but main thing I want to focus on was this idea of how we sometimes shame women for desiring marriage or desiring certain things in our lives. And we do not have to feel ashamed for your desires. So I want you to know this. You do not need to feel ashamed for your desires, okay? It's okay for you to want what you want. It's okay for you to desire certain things. And it's okay for you to not want the things that everybody else wants. Let's just be clear with that. You are not obligated to want what your mum wanted, what your dad wanted, what your cousin did, what your best friends are doing, what so-and-so did, because you're all from the same area. You are not obligated to have the same desires as everyone around you. And I think this is important that we know this. You are not obligated to want the same things in life. Your obligation is to yourself. Your obligation is to who God has called you to be. Your obligation is to being the woman of your own dreams. It is to understand that whatever it is that I desire in my life, I am going to see it happen in my life. And so just because a video goes viral on the internet and it's like, a man shouldn't be your plan, and everyone's like, yay. And then all the single women are like, yay. But in the back of your heart, you're thinking, actually a man is a part of my plan. Like, and you feel, and sometimes what I've noticed also from women that speak to me, I speak to hundreds of women every day. And so I get DMs, I get emails, people ask me questions and speak to me, get my opinion on things and send me articles. They send me, different videos and different content. But I am jumping ahead of the game. Let me dial back just a moment longer. So welcome everybody. I jumped straight in. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. I pray you're having an amazing Wednesday so far. No matter what you're doing, no matter what time it is where you are, all over the world. I know you guys are all joining me from all over this planet. And if you wouldn't mind, would you just put in where you are watching from today or where you're from? You can write that in the chat for me, just so I can get some engagement going. And also what it does is that when you start to comment on something, it also lets the algorithm know more. It lets more people know that I'm going live. Okay, so if you can just do me a favor, you could just go ahead and comment Oregon, USA, Ohio. Yes. Oh, yes. Good mix of people here today. UK. Woo. That's me. That's my home, the United Kingdom. Houston, Texas. I love Houston. I was living there last year. Well, was it last year? Towards the end of 2022 into 2023, I was living there for a while, and I'm hoping to get back there. I'm actually going to be in Houston next month. I'll be in Houston in April, and I think I'm going to do an event. I'm speaking at an event, but I think I might do something of my own. So if anyone's in Houston or can get to Houston the second week of April, then let me know and I will do something there. Hawaii, oh my gosh, that's one of my dream places that I'd love to be able to go to. Hopefully I could go there pretty soon. And so where am I now? I'm actually in Essex. My dad wasn't very well, so we were just like taking some time to be with family. So I'm in Essex, England, with my family at the moment, just kind of helping out with a few things with church and my parents and things like that. But okay, good. Okay, that's good to know that you'd love to come to One of my events. Okay, I will. Okay, I'm gonna put something out. I'll put something out maybe tomorrow, and I'll see what everybody thinks, and you can all just let me know if you want to come. So, question. We've got a question here. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, you won't see the question, but I'm gonna go ahead and comment it as well, so that you'll be able to see what the question is. So the question is, what do you think? What do you think? I'm gonna type it so you guys can all see it. What do you think about moving to better your options? Okay, let's get that showing. What do you think about moving to better your options? I love this question. And let me talk about that. Let me talk about that so you all can get this question up. Let me show up. Okay, what do you think about moving to better your options? Let me see if I can pin this comment. Give me a second. Okay, so the comment's pinned. This is a question we've got, and it's also pinned for those of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube. You can see the question there. What do you think about moving to better your options? Now, if you know me, and you've known me for a while, you'll know that I completely agree with moving. And Michael, you're right that you're going to attract the same type of man until you deal with whatever is attracting the type of man you don't like. Yes, there is some truth to what you're saying, and which was going to be a part of my second point. The first thing is I agree with moving to better your dated options, depending on what's actually going on, which is what Michael is saying as well. So Michael made a comment. For those of you who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, one of my Instagram friends has written that in answer to this question, you're just going to attract the same type of men until you deal with whatever is attracting men you don't like. I think that that is a part of the equation, but I think it's a deeper thing. The deeper thing is this. So that there is part of this, Michael. So I do agree with you on part of that, but I do think as well that there are some things that are location based. So if you're in an area, say you live in a city, a small town, and it's a very family orientated town, and I say the same thing about church. So I'm always like, if you go to a church where there are no single people, or it's not in an area that's affluent, or where people who are upwardly mobile live and things like that, then I always say that it's a good idea to expand your circle. I think that includes moving. So there are different areas, different spaces where more of that certain type that you might be interested in might be living. But at the same time, what Michael says is correct, that if there is another reason why you're not attracting the type of man that you'd like, then there is inner work to do as well. Okay, so you've said you live on a small island. So yeah, obviously you said you're in Hawaii, which has, quite a conglomerate of small islands and so on. So I think I agree with you that moving is a good idea. But first of all, before you move, have a quick kind of, like, when you visit different places, I would say to move secondary to visiting. So for me, one thing I've noticed that's worked for a lot of the ladies in our community is not moving wholeheartedly, but actually doing the discovery first. Doing the discovery. So first of all, what do I desire? And today's topic is really about that. We're talking about manifesting your desires. I have a workshop called It's Already Done, that you're going to get the audio seminar. You're going to get 2 seminars in one. So the first seminar you'll get is called Manifest Suddenly. And then the second one you'll get is a brand new seminar, which is called Already Done. And we're talking about manifesting your desires with God and so on. And so I think it's really important that we go where we are favored. So for me, I know, for example, where different places where there's a better chance. And so I agree that when you live in a small town or you live on a small island, your choices are going to be limited. But the main thing, and Michael, you keep saying things before I say them, it's like you're reading my mind or something. You've got to make sure that will my life be changed by living there, not just who I date or get married to. Although, back to the title of today's live is A Man Is a Plan. I think that when we think about our life, when you think about your life and what it is that you are creating. So I believe in co-creating with the Lord. So I'm a Christian, I'm a minister, I've been in ministry for over 20 years. And one of the things I've realized is that the reason why we don't see things manifest in our lives is because we don't believe that we can get that where we are. And I think that when it comes to this conversation, the entirety of our lives. So, what is your true desire? If you've ever been on a call with me or you've been in any of my meetings, my coaching calls, I always ask everyone to journal on this question. What is your true desire? What is it that you actually want to see happen in your life? And most times, we don't know what those things are. And I always want you to be super detailed. And I'm going to get to this next question in a moment. That you must find your space in where you are that is going to allow you to live the life that is most suited to you. So just because you were born in, let's take England for example, just in case, just because you were born in this small town in the middle of nowhere, in wherever, it doesn't mean that you must stay there. I'm so grateful that in the year that we live in 2024, and for most of us who are watching this, when we're watching live or on the replay, most of us are in a place where we are able to get whatever we desire, where we're able to really see that life doesn't just work for us, that we are able to see and have all our desires come true because of the things that we put things in, moving in place, like we move things around in order to make sure that we're always following and really kind of seeing like, what is it that I truly want? And so the question I always ask is, what do you truly want? And I think something's happened to my, let me see, something's happened to my YouTube. Let's give that a whirl. Give me a second, guys. Let me start again. My YouTube seems to want to have frozen for some reason, but we were going to go ahead and restart that. So just pin that make you think that you shouldn't want that. So for example, people will try to tell you shouldn't want something, but that's not true. You are worthy of your desires. And as I said, I have this seminar that I'm doing, and I've already done one of them. So when you register, it's only $11. And if you message me for the link afterwards, you'll be able to get it. It's $11. Use the code DONE, because what I want you to know is this, is that your desires, the word desire comes from the Latin word of the Father, of the Father. That's what it means, desire, D and sire, of the Father. So originally, the way that we were meant to desire was the things that God has for us in our lives. The Bible lets us know that God's plans are always to prosper you, and so you have a future. And so when you consider this, it really makes a big difference as to how you show up in the world, as to how you allow yourself to show up in spaces, because you must get in tune with your divine desires. What are the things that are in your heart? What are the things that you know God has been speaking to you? What are the places and the spaces that you know that you were destined to be in? And who you marry is a massive part of this. So whilst you could marry anyone, I don't think it's a good idea to just marry anyone. I think it's important to make sure that your views align, your goals align, the vision that you both have for your life aligns. Whilst also, here's the caveat, and I'm going to get to this next question. Let me go ahead and pin this question next. Here's the caveat. The caveat is this: whilst we are willing to go with what the plan is right now, when you are with a man whose vision you trust, then you know that the plan might change as time goes on. But you know, because you've vetted, you've been listening, you've been speaking, you've been having communication, you've been watching, you've been paying attention, you've noticed that his actions and his words lined up, and you notice what kind of man he is, and what people say about him, and how he shows up in different spaces, and how you feel when you're around him. Don't ignore those things. If you're second guessing things while you're courting, while you're dating, then and I know people don't like to hear this, but then what will happen is those things will only escalate and intensify when you get together. If there are things that you're saying in the courting and dating space that you're like, oh, okay, that kind of annoys me, but I think I'll be okay. Check in to make sure, number one, are you truly okay with it? Number two, is it a me issue or is it a him issue? And those are a couple of things. But I want to get to this next question, which is really good. What do you think of the concept in the manifestation community of taking no action to manifest? How action taken isn't necessarily needed and it will find its way to you. I think I used to believe this. I used to believe that if I wanted something in my life, it would just come to me. That, what's that saying? What is for you will not pass you by. Can I just say that I no longer believe that? I think that I think it's cute. I think it's cute to say that if I just wish it is going to happen. I think it's cute to say that. And I think it sounds really good. But you know what I've noticed scripturally in the Bible? People never let go of what it was they were desiring. They never let go of dreams they had in their heart. They never let go of desires. They never let go of plans that they made with the Lord. They never let go. In fact, there's this great story in the book of Genesis where there's this amazing story in the book of Genesis where Jacob wrestles with an angel, which we later find out is, like, essentially what we call a theophany, which is a temporary manifestation of God. And so he wrestles with this angel, and he realizes during the fight that actually this is a representation of God. So he says, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me, because he knew that if he was to let go, he could just go on about his life. But yes, exactly. Faith without action is dead. And, we even see this, that the Bible says without faith, it's impossible to please God. What it means is not that God needs your faith to be pleased, but that your life is a whole faith journey. That when you put faith in and trust and belief in your future, knowing that whatever it is that I'm desiring, Yes, it's on its way to me, but am I preparing for it as before it comes? Am I getting ready for it? For example, and I'm going to talk about this in the seminar as well. It's called Already Done. And I think the story is still up in my story. So you can go ahead and register for that. Use the code DONE and you'll be able to get 2 of those for $11. But here's the thing about the word manifest. So as I said, the biblical definition of manifest means to uncover. Hey, Buster, the biblical definition of manifest means to uncover, and it means to unwrap. So essentially what you're doing is unwrapping the plan that God already had for you. So when you say, even though no one in your family is married or you don't see successful marriages, when you say, I desire to have a good marriage, that is a desire that came from God. That is a heart's desire. So when you say, for example, when you were little, what did you want to be? When I was younger, when I was at school, I always wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be on television. And I've manifested every single one of those things. Not because I'm amazing, because I'm a good singer, but I'm not the best singer. Yeah, I've had some amazing opportunities. I've had some amazing opportunities to sing live. I've sang backup for Sam Smith. I've done tours with these different artists and whatever. And I don't talk about it a lot, but it's all a part of the story. Hey, Tim, it's all a part of the story. And you've got to understand that those desires didn't come from my parents. In actual fact, there's been times in my life where they've been like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But when you don't let go of your dreams, don't let go of your dreams. So that's what I think, Kelly. I think that there are some parts of the spiritual community that believe that you should let go. Like they say things like let go and let God. Let go and let God. And honestly, I don't necessarily think that's appropriate at all times. Hey, Kira. I don't think that's appropriate at all times. And exactly, Melania, your subconscious mind and the Holy Spirit will lead you to your divine actions to take. Discernment, intuition, gut feeling, and a hunch, etc. A still small voice will tell you what to do. That is a whole word. A whole word. And oftentimes in the Christian community, especially, we act like, God is just going to drop things in your lap, which he does. But at the same time, you must prepare for what you want. Are you in preparation for what you want? So say, for example, because today we're talking about husbands, we're talking about, today we're talking about husbands. Of course, I'm always going to be talking about husbands because that's, we're not here to be girlfriends or things like that. That's for other people, not for us. So I'm only talking to who I'm talking to. I'm talking to marriage-minded men and women. I'm talking to people who are already married. I'm talking to people who are in between marriages. I'm talking to people who are interested in being in a marriage where you are both compatible, where there is this element of polarity, feminine energy, masculine energy, where you both know your roles and you're able to complement each other. I am talking about a man being a plan. Yes, I am. I don't believe that you should just do whatever and watch things happen for you. I don't believe that. I think that when you live your life that way, that means that you will start to blame, God for things. And it's just like, well, no, we're not doing that. What we're going to do is co-create with the Lord. There's a book I'm always talking about, which is called Dreaming with God by Pastor Bill Johnson. Highly recommend it. I read it when I was at ministry school. I was at ministry school for a few years in California. And one of the things we learned during our trainings, we read that book, and I've read it so many times because there are some great things in there that I can use for every day. And when you dream with God, it is different to when you just dream. Now, dreaming with God looks like this. For me, this is one of the things I do. And if you join my seminar, which is only $11 if you use the code DONE. So if you type the word DONE in the coupon box, you'll get the seminar. You'll get the 2 seminars for $11. And the link is still in my stories. If you watch on Facebook, Instagram, it's there as well. You'll be able to see the link as well. And it's only $11 if you put the code DONE, and you get 2 seminars for the price of one. In any case, I found this to be true. and I'm going into depth inside of this seminar. So this is just like a taster, of like my energy, of like how I teach, my teaching style. And of course, when you join the seminar, you'll also be able to ask questions as well, and obviously get your questions answered on a more personal level as well. But what I found, and this is something that is really true, is that you don't just get what is for you. You also get what you believe, what you are waiting for, what you are expecting. And so this idea, and Kelly, I love this question, I hope you're still here. This idea of just letting go, and then if it doesn't come to me, then it's not for me. I don't believe that. And you do not see, I read my Bible every single day, multiple times a day. Let me go ahead and get my favorite version that I've got right now. This is my new Bible that I use for preaching. I'm actually preaching this Sunday. And so if you want to get the information for that, you can message me. I might put a flyer up, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm preaching this Sunday. And so I was reading and studying this morning. And I read this, like for me, my faith isn't this like performative thing or whatever. It's where I get my core values from. It's where I get my insights from. It's where I build my foundation. It's where I get my confidence. It only comes from God. And so I've been reading this great book. It's called the Bible. Should read it sometime. And if you're interested in Bible studies, I do have some Bible studies on my YouTube channel that you can go ahead and take a look and see how you feel about that. But this entire Bible is filled with insights and scenarios and examples of not letting go, of not believing that just because I want it, it's going to make its way to me. No. You must. So I'm more likely. So what you've mentioned is more like law of attraction, which is like a watered down version of some scriptural concepts. Law of assumption is a much more closer to biblical concepts. The idea that you believe, you say, and you see it manifest. All right. And so I've made a note of a few of my favorites, and you probably heard me say a few of them before, because I'm very consistent in what I say. I'm very consistent. You meet me on the street. Those of you that met me in real life and know me, like, when we talk, we talk about similar things. I'm not somebody else. I'm not going to suddenly you see me and then I'm suddenly gonna order prosecco instead of champagne. Like, I put it in my story because my friends sent it to me and they were just like, oh my gosh, this is what we do. And I was like, yep, this is what we do. You've got to learn to be your authentic self. And I think some of you are afraid to be authentic because you don't know if people are still going to like you. You don't know if you're going to get married or you're going to do this, all this stuff. And actually, you would have better results in your life and you will manifest things much faster when you own who you are, when you own who God has called you to be, and you don't allow people to put their expectations on you. You don't allow people to tear you down. You don't allow people's opinions. In the book of Jeremiah, it says this: do not be afraid of their faces. Sometimes you just have to pull on your big girl panties, man up, and you just have to stand on who you are. My girl Micah says people can be authentic. So here they are because they don't know who they are. Exactly. Sometimes people don't know who they are. And that's one of the things that in my seminar, I talk about that. I talk about owning your identity in Christ, like owning who you are. And I think yesterday I did a video on my YouTube channel. I do so many videos that sometimes I get confused as to what date and when I did what. But yesterday there's a video on my YouTube channel where it's called The Soft Life God's Way. And honestly, you've got to make sure that when it comes to things that you see or things that you desire, being authentic, and this is authentic for me. So for example, this really goes with what I'm going to get into next. One of my friends on Facebook wrote a post saying that about how people should dress for the life that they want, and she wants a life where she can wear sweats or whatever, something along those lines. I'm not saying it verbatim as to what the post was. So if you saw the post, I'm not like directly quoting it. The gist was, you know, just being more comfortable, wearing comfy clothes or whatever. And I commented, I was like, you know what? I think authenticity is really good. I think that being authentic is being the best version of you. And I didn't really go into details. And you know, on the comment, I believe she was like, said something like, well, you look great, you know, being your authentic self, blah, blah, blah. We were just celebrating each other, because it's okay that you wear sweats and you love to wear loungewear, you love to do the leggings thing, and, you know, leggings and a basketball shirt. Great. You will never catch me in that, ever, 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 ever. Actually, no, that's a lie. I wear those things for working out only. I'm a Pilates girl, so we do the matching sets over here, you know, for Pilates. And I may post a picture of it, but ordinarily, you're not going to see that ever. Like, that's not something that I'm going to post, because to me, that is not my version of the best version of me, the most natural, most authentic version of me, even being comfortable. So around the house, I have things like, so I wear, so this is a sweater, and then it's got like a matching sweater skirt as well. It's like a knitted sweater and a knitted skirt, and doesn't require ironing. Literally just folds up, well, it hangs up in my closet, my rail or whatever now. But you know, you just, it folds, unfolds, put on, and it's very comfortable. I'm very comfortable. Like, there's no ironing. It's a very easy thing to wear. I just buy them in several colors. I think I have this in black, white, and obviously this burgundy color. Then I'll probably get like a beige color. And to me, that's comfortable. Or in the summer, I wear more of the like caftans, the long ones. I love those, or the ones that go off the shoulder. I'll wear like a strapless like dress and things like that. Those are the things that I would wear as being comfortable. When it's warmer, I have these sleeveless dresses, like that you can get them in like plain colors, black, green. I think I've got black, green, pink, maybe like a white one. And then you have those as uniform, same as wearing leggings. Like, to me, it's just as comfortable as wearing leggings. And on a regular day, that is what you'll see me dressed as. Like, that is just how I dress, how I'm dressed right now, with this burgundy sweater, and I've got the matching skirt on. You can't see it on this video. That for me is comfort, but it is what some would call a leveled up version of comfort. But I don't let people on the internet tell me that I'm overdressed, or that I should wear, you know, some sort of I don't know, t-shirt. What is it? People wear t-shirt and leggings and things like that. Not for me. It's not for me. And you got to be clear on those things. And you might say it's only a little thing. It's not a little thing, because it also shows up in your mindset. And those things, when I started to elevate my mindset in that way, there was a time when I would have like one of those multi-packs of leggings and wear a Lululemon set whenever, and blah, 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 blah. And that's fine if that's you. But is it you? Is it truly? This is the thing. Sometimes we follow patterns, we follow concepts, and we wonder why our manifestations are blocked. And it's because you're not being true to who you are. Every time, I hold up my Bible, because this is my favorite Bible right now. It's the Amplified Study Bible, and I love it for preaching because it's nice, and I'm getting a bit older, you know. And I mean, it's still pretty small, the words, but I love it because it has like the study parts at the bottom. But this is not a Bible advert. The point I'm making is that throughout this entire book, people who don't have the right mindset don't get the things that they desire. But when they do get it, there is this alignment that happens. Yes, I'm saving it. It will be on, it's going to be on YouTube. And I think I will, if the YouTube kind of broke down. So if the YouTube isn't working properly, I'm going to save this one and I'll upload it to YouTube. Okay. So you can go ahead and watch the replay on YouTube. But the manifestation idea is not a new concept. And remember what I said biblical manifestation is? Biblical manifestation is, the word means to uncover, to unwrap, and to unlock. And I love to say, you're unlocking the gifts that God already gave you. He always gave them to you. You know, like how you have those gifts, and maybe you have a trust. Maybe your parents have put a trust for you, or you put a trust for like your children or whatever, and then you get to go in it when you are, 21 or something, or you get to go in it when maybe when your parents passed away, you've got something coming and it's there. I think that God has put a trust. Oh, this is good. This is really good. And I was going to save it for the seminar, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. God has created a trust for you, every single one of you. And a difference between a trust that has to wait for age or a death or whatever, the trust is just waiting for you to realize. God has placed a very special gift for you. There are multiple gifts. And let me read this scripture. One of my favorite scriptures. Hello. Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 20. So we're going to go ahead and read that, because sometimes people are like, that ain't in the Bible. And I'm just like, I don't know what Bible you're reading. I feel like you're reading something different to me. I just feel like sometimes people are just not reading the same thing. And I'm like, God has so much for you. Why would he want you to marry someone and your lives don't be elevated? I can't see how that makes sense, especially when we see that in scripture, throughout scripture. Even if we're to go to the controversial story of Jesus being born, and Mary and Joseph was a good man. You know why Joseph was a good man? Because he paid the dowry, and even after he found out the crazy story of his fiance being pregnant by something else, he still said, after listening to the voice of God, he said, what did he do? What did he do? After hearing God's voice, he still married her and raised Jesus, and they had other children, and he went about his life. Because even in the choosing there, and I don't know why this revelation has just appeared to me, like, oh my gosh, even in the choosing of that, God shows us that the character of a man and his willingness to still lead. He had a trade. He was a carpenter. He had a business. He was a man who was honorable, and he listened to the voice of God. Even in that crazy story, we still see that Joseph was an admirable man. So Ephesians 3:20, which you've heard me read a million times, because I put it in probably every single post, and you should definitely join my seminar. It's only $11 if you use the code DONE. Use the code DONE and you'll get 2 seminars for the price of 1. You'll get an older one that I did before called Manifest Suddenly, and then you're going to get this new updated fire-filled seminar called Already Done. Even the name does something to my soul when I say it. Already done. And I want you to type that in the chat, actually, if you're able to. Those that are watching now, write the words already done in the chat for me. Already done. Already done. If you're believing that there are things in your life that are already done. So let's go ahead. How much is the price if we buy after today? I think it is 44. But Kelly, message me and we'll see what's possible. I believe the price is 44. Remember, it's 2 seminars. So it's $44 for the 2 seminars. But yes, already done. I see it. But Kelly, it's $11 if you get it today. And we'll see what other magical surprises I can drop in there as time goes on. So Ephesians 3:20. Ephesians 3:20. Ephesians, I'm excited. 3:20. It says, I'm reading from the Amplified version, which is like, this is my favorite new Bible. I love Bibles, and this is my favorite one right now. Got another one right over here as well, and some more elsewhere. But Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to carry out his purpose and do super abundantly more than all we, check this out, all we dare ask, so daring to ask, What is it that you're not daring to ask? If you're daring to ask for, you asked me about moving. If you're daring to ask if it's possible for you to move to a better location, are you daring to ask all that we dare to ask or think? So even the things that you think matter. I don't know if you're catching a common thread to the things that I say all over this internet. I am very consistent in what I say. Very consistent. I only have like one or two messages and I say the same things all the time. Even whenever I preach, when you hear me preach, you will hear these same things in a sermon, of course, in a particular context, more scripture. I probably won't be talking about marriage unless I'm at a marriage conference or singleness or women or anything like that. But if I preach, I am going to be using these. These are the passages that I preach from. I talk about the identity in Christ. I preach those things as well as that is how we do that. Yes, faith without works is dead. That was mentioned as well. And in the seminar, I am also going to talk about in Hebrews 11 how, even deeper into what that even looks like. So let me finish carrying on with this, what Ephesians 3:20 says. Oh, and the other reason why I don't like to save lives on Instagram is because you can only watch videos on Instagram on one speed. And I don't know about you, but I like to watch videos on 1.5 speed, 1.7, 2 speed. And so on YouTube, when I upload my videos to YouTube, you can watch them much faster. Like you can speed it up and just really like watch it at a faster speed. So that's why I prefer to put all my videos on YouTube, just in case you guys were wondering. And so it says, or think. So do super abundantly more than all we dare to ask or think. Think infinitely beyond our greatest prayers, hopes, and dreams, according to his power that is at work within us. We know that the power of God, even if you're not really a believer, just listen to what the words are saying. You don't have to be a believer to understand what I'm saying. According to the power that works, if you believe in an all power, if you believe that God is all powerful and that nothing is impossible for him, and that with God, nothing is possible for you, then the verse before says that you may have the richest experience of God's presence in your life, completely filled and flooded with God himself. So it sets up the words really beautifully here for you to understand that, yes, it starts with your mind. Your thoughts matter. That's why you must be careful of things that go viral on the internet, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I don't really care what platform it is. When things go viral and everyone's like, yeah, and they jump on it without fully understanding what is it that I'm making an agreement with. You must be clear on what you're making an agreement with. So for me, I believe it's okay for you to say a man is a plan. And the subtopic of this is to manifest your true desires. Because if you don't have things clear in your mind, you will get anything. You'll get anything. You will live your life and say, oh, it's okay. Oh, no, I don't really want to get married. Or, oh, no, it's okay. He doesn't have to have a job. It's okay. Actually, I don't mind if we never do this. Or, oh, okay. And you kind of belittle yourself in order to do different things. And finally, I'm going to close with this. Because I didn't mean for this to be this long. I'm going to close with this. You've got to get to a point where you are not desperate. You can have a desire. Remember, the word desire is of the Father. Yet, no settling. We don't do that over here. You are better off. Anyway, we'll talk about it another time. There's a difference between desiring and desperation. They're not the same thing. Desperation means that I need this in order to breathe. If I don't have this, then I must have it. And then also when we're desperate, we will settle. We'll be like, well, I need a man. Oh my God. Thank you for saying this. A man isn't a financial plan. It's simply feminist language. Over here, we need men. Hello. Welcome to today's session. Thank you for saying that, because That is that is exactly what I was missing from what I was saying. So thank you for saying that. It is feminist language, and you know, God bless women that that works for. God bless them if it's their true desire. But let me tell you this: I have found, and I've been doing this a little while. I have been doing this quite a while, and I have found that 9 times out of 10, the reason why women will say things like what you've just said, and when people say man is not a plan, is because of a couple of things. One of them is because of their experiences with men. Maybe they've gone through a divorce or something really bad has happened and they've not had successful dating experiences. or or they have just given up. They've given up. They've given up, or they don't believe that they're worthy of things like that in their life, which is, again, I talk about this all the time about being the woman of your own dreams. That when you start to improve your life for yourself, when you buy your own house, or you know, get your degree and you do all these different things and you better yourself and you kind of like work on your body, work on your skin, all the things that women love to do. We love to take care of ourselves. There's something about women where we just love those things. Most times women who don't do those things, and I'm saying most because there's always going to be someone who's going to say, oh, not every woman, or not this. But I'm going to tell you, I've spoken to many women of many different ages, different backgrounds, different socioeconomic categories, different countries, even, and cultures. And there are common threads around how we approach things and how we see things and how we feel about certain things. Most times, the reason why people go to a different way or disagree with what I'm saying is because of lack of self-belief, lack of a low self-concept, not believing that it's possible, not feeling that it's worthy, and their own circumstances. So because you didn't get it, you think that I'm making it up. Case in point, I did a post, I don't think it's on Instagram, but it's on Facebook. I think it's just on, I only post it on Facebook. And I posted a post saying that it's possible for you to go on an all-expenses trip with a gentleman and him not be expecting intimacy, and it not to be about that, and it's to be just about you being there with him, and not always even with him, but just like they're in the same city, same country, nearby, so that you two can get to know each other, especially if you are long distance. And honestly, I got a few messages, and there was a few comments as well. But majority, what's really interesting is that what I found over time is that the reason why people don't believe those things, again, it goes back to what I said. If you've had a bad experience, say you went away with someone and then they tried to force you to do something you didn't want to do, or you had a conversation with your guy and he was like, well, we're not doing that unless blah blah blah. Or maybe you're even dating someone and they said they wouldn't do that unless they were married, or different things where you're just saying like, wow, I didn't know that was. And so because you had an experience, now you're putting that on other women. We have to be careful, and I've learned not to do that, because I used to do that as well, where I would think something just because I've experienced like lots of different things, been, you know, different circumstances over 40 years of being alive, and especially like being a Christian, all sorts of things. I used to put my experiences on other people and be like, oh no, that's not possible, or oh, I bet this, or make assumptions. You learn as time goes on not to make assumptions. You know why? There's another scripture, always have a scripture. The Bible even lets us know in Revelation, and you might say, how does this relate? It relates perfectly. Revelation says, in the book of Revelation, it says the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Basically what it's saying is that when you talk about something and you share a testimony of something, you are inviting God to do it again. So you have to be careful about what you say. And I can sit here all day and give you all these scriptures. I can talk about this married woman that I have in my community. I can talk about this client that I spoke to yesterday. I can talk to you about so many things. But ultimately, it's not about what I tell you. You must make an agreement with yourself about what you desire to manifest in your life. You have to make a decision that I am who God says I am. You must decide that. I can't tell you. I can tell you all the time that, oh my gosh, Barb, you're so beautiful. Or Hazel, oh my gosh, you're absolutely amazing. I think you women, you guys are beautiful. Sarah, you're amazing. You're beautiful. You're stunning. You could get any man that you want. You can do whatever you want. But until you believe it, what's going to happen? Even when those men approach you, that's why I don't really teach a lot of like dating techniques in that way. The way that I teach is all of it all together, because I believe that if you're a woman, full stop, you're going to get approached. Like, that's not even, most women get approached. That's just how men are. Men will, I always joke and say men will always have the audacity. Like, men are so bold, they're confident, they will go after women that aren't even, that we would say, wow, you tried her. But because they're confident, they really have the arrogance and the confidence to go after what they want. And so it's not even a problem of you being approached. It's more of a problem of your lack of self-belief, your lack of belief. I bet if I was to take your phone, you're already being approached by a bunch of men. That you're already people trying to speak to you or whatever. You probably have 3 or 4, at least 2 or 3 men that are in your network that you're connected to, that like you. Maybe you friend zone someone. We'll talk about that another day, about putting men in the friend zone without, discovery. You're probably going to tell me about these things and be like, oh yeah, but not him. And my question is always back to the worthiness of it. What do you truly desire? And knowing that God has actually given you those things for a reason. And we filter them through his word. You filter them through your prayer life. We filter them through meditation, checking in with people. Hi, thank you so much. You check in with different people, different mentors, and so on and so forth. Message me. Like, I have an inbox. You can message me. I have coaching calls that are available. You can message me and ask me what I have available. There are resources around. But it's about getting honest with yourself. What do I truly desire? Because you could wait for things to fall in your lap. You could wait. And there are examples of that where things will fall into your lap. But most of the time, you'll need to be in position. You'll need to position yourself. You'll need to, like in the old days, they'll talk about dropping a hanky so you could be noticed. Like, you're going to need to put yourself in the way. You will need to make sure that you are approachable. You are in those spaces where the people and connections that you would like to have are in the room. Unless you think, what's that saying about, if you never go out and stuff, are you expecting your husband to be a burglar? Like, you want them to, we've got to be, I believe in being delusional. Can I sing? Oh, okay. That's okay. Let me think about it. I might sing. Wow. You want me to sing? Okay. I might sing. Wow, that's an interesting question. But I think that when it comes to this, we must make sure that we're aligned with the things that we desire. Oh, I've got to read this comment. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, you won't hear this, you won't see this, but I'm going to read it out. I started to refer to myself as a trophy wife, not in a bad way, but as the complete package. My identity is very rooted without caring what anyone says. Period. That's me. I always talk about this. When I talk about the rich wife, that's really what I'm talking about. Like, the trophy wife, but in a holistic way, exactly as you have said it. I say in the same way that it is about being the holistic woman who knows who she is and is the kind of woman where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky to have her. But you have to say it when you have to say it to yourself. I was looking for a mirror, but I don't have a mirror right by me. But when you look in the mirror, are you like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky? Like, what an amazing life you have. You are so blessed. There is nothing that's impossible for you. I believe in being, what's that trend that was going around of being delusional. is understanding that you must be delusional about who you are in the way that is against what the world is doing. When I say delusional, it's basically just faith, like believing that you are who God says you are. It is understanding that you are the crown of. I wrote this scripture down, and I read it somewhere. I'm trying to remember where I put it. I put it somewhere. This idea of a woman being the crown of God's glory. I think it's in Isaiah. I think it's in Isaiah. Thank you so much, Melania, for saying that, because I love that I attract you amazing women who get it. Like, the girls that get it. And gorgeous, gorgeous girls are always going to not care about what other people think. And I was in a conversation earlier where they was basically saying, I was listening to this conversation earlier where they were basically saying that even if a woman is so-called like a 6 or a 7, 6 or 7 in looks, as if she has feminine energy and if she is confident, if she is approachable, but not in like a everyday approachable, but she is open. I use the word open, not approachable. If she is open and she is someone that you can speak to and get to know, then sometimes that woman, in actual fact, in most cases, that woman will be more of the kind of wife that you will prefer than someone who looks like absolutely amazing, but then doesn't have all the substance. And I'm not saying that you can't be both, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is not just about pretty privilege, because pretty privilege is a real thing. But being a woman, most women are going to have pretty privilege on some level of a scale. There is a scale, and there, but you will almost every. That's why you'll see women that you might not necessarily think are attractive or think that they're pretty or whatever, and they will still get certain results, because there is something about the fact that men and women, we were created to be together. That's just the way it is. It's the way our anatomy works. That's the way chemistry works. That's just the way it works. Sometimes it has nothing to do with looks. It has everything to do with that's a man, that's a woman. Here we go. And so when you understand that's how we were made, no matter what you look like, no matter where you're from, what language you speak, your culture, your age, those things are just elements that we add to what we're doing. So for example, if I'll speak for myself, I am over 35, sorry, I am 40 years old, and you understand different things about what it means to be that age. You understand what it means to be, whether you have degree or you have 4 degrees or you have no degree or you never finished school. You know what those things look like in your life. And then when you decide that actually I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get my degree, and whilst I'm doing that, I'm also open for meeting someone at the university or in my master's program or wherever I'm going to live, and making sure as you go about your day that you are daily, and I talk about this in the seminar as well, about this idea of like your daily manifestation practice of what is it that you're becoming. You are both becoming and are. The Bible even talks about this. So when it comes to the plan of salvation, that you are both saved at the point of your salvation, and you are also a work every day. You are working in this plan of holiness. You are becoming more and more like God. You are becoming more well versed in your text and everything like that. There are 2 things happening, and they're both true. So you can both be the woman of your own dreams, be the rich wife, but you're also becoming the woman of your own dreams. You're also becoming the rich wife, which is my version of the trophy wife. So you can be both. You can be both, but it's about what are you saying? So saying things like, and I do have, so I have an Etsy store. I don't know if you know, but I have an Etsy store as well. And I have some affirmations over there that you can go ahead and look as well. I think I'll put a link to the Etsy store in my story when this is done. And then you'll be able to see some ebooks. Quite a few of you already have a lot of the ebooks. So I am putting up new ones now every week, just because I'm just in this space of creating a lot of content as I prepare for some things where I won't be as available. And so while I am more available, I highly recommend you tap in with me. I highly recommend that if you've been thinking about booking calls with me, that you should definitely get that done in this season. And as much as I'm availing myself for you, you should try to do that. I have a lot of free content available. So if you go on YouTube, for those who are watching YouTube, check out the playlists. I have different playlists going on. I have some Divine Feminine Bible studies where I talk about the Bible as it relates to femininity. I also have some regular Bible study videos, as well as just a lot of femininity content, of course. And for me, I always find it hard to pigeonhole what I teach, because honestly, I am just really desiring. Oh, thank you so much, Brittany. Brittany, you are amazing. And for those women who want to get back or want to add on something in the career space, so you want to be a project manager, or get into tech and things like that, then definitely speak to Brittany, my friend Brittany Starr. She's down here commenting on this Instagram video. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, go over to Instagram and find I am Brittany Starr. And you'll be able to see she has been very successful, and everything we've been talking about, she already has that life. So when you get the life that you want, you must have a plan. Okay, a man is a plan. I've said this already. This is what the title of this session is today, but that also includes other things in your life. Being with the right man means that, what if you decided tomorrow that you wanted to start your own business, or you wanted to go back to work, or decide to be in this project? For me, I am crystal clear on where my life is going, but also I know that as life changes, do I trust him enough that I can still be with him in those seasons as well? Okay. And so if you're looking to maybe have a career change or up level some things in your career, go ahead and check out Brittany. She's here on this Instagram live, and you'll be able to see, like, she has some really good things happening as it relates to project management space. And she does Pilates content as well. It's so funny when you're in a space where you like certain things, you know what happens? God will bring people into your life that are aligned with that. God will bring people into your life that are aligned with that. And I'm using Brittany as an example because it's an example of that there are certain things that you already know that you're not going to put up with you're not going to put up with in your friendship or whatever, because of the goals that you have are quite similar and things like that. But let me say this goes back to what I said at the beginning of this live about the idea of being authentic and knowing who you are and knowing what you're desiring to manifest. Because when you pretend to like certain things, you're only going to attract people who like that thing. My friends know. I've got a couple of friends who are really into trainers. They call them trainers in the UK, sneakers in the US. And they will send me like pictures of sneakers that I can buy. And I've got these New Balances, some New Balance sneakers. I want to get some Nikes that I've seen. And it's like, oh, well, you could wear this with a dress. And I'm just like, I am not wearing sneakers and a dress. Like, you will, no. That day is gone. But I will buy them for when I'm going on my walks. So when I go on my walk, I can wear my cute little sneakers. But if you just pretend to be like a tomboy or whatever, or just like different fashions, then you don't get authenticity in your relationships. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think because I try to be clear, but also here's the thing. When you love who you are, when you own who you are, you also let other people do what they want. So you don't have to wear heels, but I'm going to be wearing them. You might not, like to do certain things or whatever, but if we go to this restaurant, I'm ordering that. I don't really know what you're doing, but I'm going to order that. Do you see what I'm saying? You've got to kind of be aware of who you are and be unapologetic about that and not do things to fit in. And I've been saying I've been closing for some time, but you guys keep pulling me. You keep pulling me with your comments and your questions, and it's pulling me. So I'm here still. But this final thing I will say, for example, when I used to live in California, and I was at this church that is quite well known, and they're very casual there. Not a lot of people wear heels, and just a very casual atmosphere, and just different things that in alignment with me, I would just show up as me every day. And I remember one of the like pastors, he would say to me, one of our senior pastors, he would always say to me, "Oh, nice dress, Rachel." Like every time he'd see me, he'd be like, "Nice shoes." He's like, "Oh, nice hair." I'm like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And then another time, there'll be times when people will be like, they would ask me advice or be like, "Oh, where did you get your clothes from? Because no one else here is dressed like that or whatever." But it was never in a position of showing people being different. I was just being me, like not allowing myself to be distracted by how everybody else dresses in that church or everybody else dresses in that area. And everywhere we'd go, my friends would be like, "Oh my gosh, we have to take you everywhere," because we'd go places and we'll get free things, or people would give us free stuff, or they would just be like so kind. And I know it was because of how I present myself in an area where everyone else is more dressed down or just present myself a particular way. And you'll find that these things, and it was really good because every time I would sometimes, because I'm human, right? And I'm very much in touch with my feelings and so on. I remember even times when I would feel like, oh, maybe I should tone down. That same day, someone will say something about how amazing it is that I'm doing blah, 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 blah. God will always confirm his word with signs following. That is the Bible. And I know you're thinking, what does clothes have to do with it? It has a lot of things to do with it because it's how you're showing up in the world. In the modern world, we wear clothes. So it's like you get up and you put clothes on, and it does say something about who you are. And what are you saying? This is also a part of manifestation of when you start to unwrap and unlock who God is calling you to be and where you are desiring to be. Are you even dressing for the places that you want to be at? If it's fine for you, that's cool. That's cool. Like, I'm never going to tell you not to be yourself. My question is always going to be, are you being the best version of yourself? And so that is all I want to say today. I've actually been live for over an hour now. And so you are welcome to catch the replay. The replays will be over on YouTube. And so if you're on my YouTube channel, the YouTube channel is Rachel-Yvonne, and you'll search that and you'll be able to find my channel. Subscribe and make sure you're getting all the content that I have on there. I do have some spaces for private coaching. My calls at the moment, I'm doing this like thing that I felt super led to do. And my coaching calls for 90 minutes on specific days are $88. $88 for 90 minutes. Bargain, absolute bargain. So go ahead and book that. If you're interested, send me a message and then I can send you the link if you can't see the links for that. I do have a seminar coming up called Discover the Rich Wife Within. So if you're a beginner and you're just thinking, I don't know what Rachel's talking about, but I'm interested in knowing what the rich wife is and why it's important and where she's coming from, I have a seminar coming up called Discover the Rich Wife Within, and that is $27. So let me know if you want that. And then finally, I do have a manifestation seminar called Already Done, because I believe that what you desire is already done. But we're going to talk about the pieces between there and here. Like, how do we squash that timeline and really see those things happen in our lives? So that seminar is only $11. Use the code DONE and you'll be able to get that. It's in my stories still, so you can go ahead and do that. And I think I would like to sing, actually. I'm going to sing something that I've been singing for the last few days that I love, and then we will go. So I pray everybody's enjoyed this live today and that you've had an amazing time. I actually do have a single. You can go ahead and look at that. It's everywhere on wherever music is sold. Rachel-Yvonne. Again, I'm wearing pink in the picture, and the song is called You Are My Hope. I also have songs that have been covered by other artists, but we'll talk about all that another day. Today, we're just talking about manifesting our desires and what that looks like. And I'm going to go and sing this song that I love. And I've been singing it. I'm stalling a little bit because all of a sudden I got nervous, but it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and sing this. It's an old song. So if you do know it, you can, I was going to say sing along like we're in church. We are not in church. But if you know this song, you can go ahead and sing it. It's called Oh Lord, You're Beautiful. If you know it, you can sing with me. Oh Lord, you're beautiful. Your face is all I see. And when your eyes are on this child, your grace abounds to me. 'Cause I wanna take your words and shine it all around. First, help me just to live it, Lord. And when I'm doing well, help me to never seek a crown, for my reward is bringing glory to you. Oh Lord, please light the fire that once burned bright and clear. Restore the joy of my first love that burns with holy fear. 'Cause I wanna take your words and shine it all around. First, help me just to live it, Lord. And when I'm doing well, help me to never seek a crown, for my reward is bringing glory to you. All right, so I only sung because I was asked to sing. This wasn't a singing live. I can't believe I just did that. However, I do sing and I lead worship almost every week, actually. But you know, as I was singing, I was just thinking about this. That when you are clear on your desires, when you are clear on those things, and you don't stop until they happen, you don't let go. I don't know why I'm like super emotional right now, but you must not let go. If you want to see things happen in your life, you must not let go. Okay, so God bless everyone. And oh my gosh, you just missed it. I just sung. You missed it. If you weren't here, you missed a song. You missed a song. So God bless everyone, and I will be live maybe tomorrow. So God bless, and I'll see you all soon. Bye. The replay will be